exactly right. Me and Joe never used those. We got our boxes at exactly the same time.
What?
Our friend's the director of marketing for Full Stuff, Evan, and he was like, "Hey guys, this game looks really good." And we're like, "Okay, cool." So we bought it. We were looking at those games. No way that...
All right, Joe, you still there?
I'm still here, man.
All right, if you want to jump into the Team Attack Facebook page and get this link posted to the collective, we are live.
Because they're so anemic and so kind of poorly constructed.
I'm on your page. I don't see it. Well, here, let me go to posts instead.
Yeah, you just have these really boring games where
No, I don't see it yet, man.
Maybe when we go in the ambulance, let's tell the captain.
Came up?
Yeah.
All right, let me know when it's in the collective.
Oh, wait, never mind. I don't see it yet. That was the fight team. That was not fight night.
I mean,
The tunnel is now with some stairs that go nowhere.
let me see.
This goes up to a top of roof.
I keep refreshing, man. The last thing I see is your Team Attack podcast from May 2nd.
We should look inside the green, okay? Look inside here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, I got it here. Watch video. How do I share? 6 people watching. Thanks everybody for tuning in right now. We're still trying to share this to the collective to get a bigger. Oh, I got it. Here we go. Share. Okay, honey, can it be bedtime?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not seeing it, Carlos. I'm not
I
seeing
don't know. I got it. I got sharing a group here.
Alright. Let me know when you send it out.
Yep.
I'm on the collective now.
All right, it says it was posted. See if it's up there. Night, bud. Got it up there, Joe?
No, I don't see it.
You don't see it in the collective?
Yeah, I'm in the collective. I'm not seeing it.
Said it shared. It's right there, man. It's like the first thing.
There we go.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm going to tell him to go live.
Tell them to go live.
There we go. They finally caught on to that.
All right. Sweet. Hey, guys. Welcome to Team Attack Podcast and the Build Phase present the first ever Fight Night, where we are live with 2 decks, 2 supremely broken decks, the OG Thanos and Outrider. here on a 1v1 match. It is Mr. Ben from the build phase versus Adam Logan, who Team Attack is obviously claiming because, we really can't claim build phase and Ben and that have that make any sense.
Oh boy, Carlos, you're already starting with this nonsense.
It's a proxy battle, man. We can't fight it out at Gen Con this year, so we got to do it here.
It's okay. We wanted to incorporate Team Attack anyway, so that's why we're streaming it on your Facebook page.
That's it.
So Carlos, what do you think is going to happen tonight? What do you think, Thanos or Outriders tonight?
Well, I got my money on Thanos. It's got to be, right? Adam's he's taking up Team Attack's mantle right here, so Thanos has got to do it. He's the OG killer. He's just going to gauntlet these guys, and they're going to be done.
If anybody knows Thanos, it's definitely Adam. I'll say that.
That is true.
And we're not gonna. We got a question in the stream here. Okay, you saw that.
Is it on Twitch? Yeah, I did. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have cleared an entire schedule. We have cleared all night for this epic battle. Right? We expect this to take at least 5 hours. This is a best of 3 game, and with these two gigantic titans, there's no way it's gonna be a short game, right?
Yeah, I think we're here for a long haul, so definitely get settled in, get some food, use the bathroom now. We'll probably have some intermissions between games 2 and 3, but that's it. You can't expect a titanic battle like this to end quickly. No, not at all. I definitely agree. I think what we're going to see here today is epic, something of vast proportions. The ground will shake from the amount of damage that will be done.
That's true. And Peter is still trying to comment as Team Attack, so I'm sure that's going to be extremely confusing for everybody watching. But he says it's going to be 3-turn games.
He should have hopped on the stream. We could have had somebody else commentating with us. That would have been fun.
All right.
So, I mean, I want to see Thanos do some damage. I want to see if he's still relevant. I want to see if he can still hang with.
Yes. Oh, we're missing some plays here, Joe. We've got this going on already.
Oh, we do. All right.
So turn 1, we have Thanos down, and he has Mystique down as well. We see a vault. Formation is Thanos is in the back row, which is that's expected, right? You're going to put Thanos in the back because you need other people to die before he gets stunned. What happens here? Ben's thinking. There we go. One wound.
The Outriders.
1 wound on Outrider. So Ben's optimum move here. Does he have an optimum 1-drop? What does he do? Does he go for?
Ben is running 11 run drops in this Outriders build.
11. Well, Heimdall is obviously one.
Yes, Heimdall is obviously one of them. He has Whiplash in his build as well, if I remember correctly.
Well, okay, so there we've got Heimdall. We've got an entire formation up front. So is he going to turn all of them sideways? No. He's conservative.
Interesting approach.
1 XP for Thanos. So now the interesting thing I have here is Adam has chosen not to run Metal and Fire.
Right. He's only running 3 plot twists. Running, what was it, shocks?
3 shocks. 3 shocks is all he has.
Yeah. When he sent me his list, I'm not going to say I was taken back by it, because if anybody, like I said, if anybody knows it's him. I think he's trying to be a little more strategic this game. I think he's trying to show that strategy can beat the Outriders. And not just going for the straight, OP, this is the card I want to play in this matchup. For Christie, for example, he was pretty adamant about not playing that. We
should say that Adam has constructed this deck to be more of an updated version of Thanos instead of just a raw Outrider tech. Oh, turn 2, we have Wasp and another Mystique, and Adam has gone super 1-drop heavy in this deck. He has just it's like 20 1-drops or something crazy. It's just an extreme crop of them.
I thought 11 was high.
Yeah, no, Adams, he's got Wasp, he's got Iceman, he's got Mystique, he's got Cosmo. He is packed to the gills with 1-drops here. What do we get? Do we get a Mutant Bomb? We got a Mutant Bomb. So that's a pretty obvious play here, right? Mutant Bomb.
Yeah.
We blow up the entire board. That Wasp comes down, so we've got 2 wounds on 1 dog already, and then 1 across the board. But yeah, so Adam's list is much more updated. He decided to opt against the strict OR package, so he's not running Christie. And I was talking to him when we were
about. Christie's a great card in this matchup. I was a little taken back by him not running him. But again, when I was talking to him about it, he had mentioned he wants to go for a strategic approach and not just try to outmuscle the Outriders.
Yeah, and it's not just the shell that you can put in behind any MC and beat Outrider, right? Because right. you could throw in every Comet Fall guy, you could throw in Christie, and you could try and be sneaky and throw in like the Prey guys for Poncho, for Minigun, right. For Shit Happens. For He Couldn't See Me to hide your MC. So there's this really great tech package that Illustrated has against Outrider, and he opted not to do that.
Yeah, he's going for more of a strategic approach. Even excluding Metal and Fire was something I thought would be a sure include. If I was building Thanos, Metal and Fire, I would include, but a little more creative with his builds.
I would have as well. I would have thought, when he was looking for putting plot twists in, I thought, oh, we got a Langley came down, and did we get a Byers or a Frohickey power up here?
Looks like
did
a
I miss?
Frohickey, yeah.
No, it looks like there was no power up. So Ben's just formatting here. Adam set his hand down, and it kind of threw me off. But obviously the gunman package is what he wants. He wants to be ripping those cards out of Adam's hand. Right.
That was Ben's approach in this, was I'm going to try to... He had a couple of different packages that he built, but we're going to try to empty the hand and play the long game is something that he was trying for. He doesn't want to be dead to rights if he does get gauntleted.
I agree, and I think when you're running photo, like that gunman package is pretty obvious as something to put in. Looks like we got an I Need Your Help. So Ben's going to be searching for a power-up, I would imagine.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with Christie, when Christie does stun a defending enemy character, he stuns each other enemy character on the side with that same name. So if you were looking to hurt the Outriders, Christie was an obvious choice.
I don't believe he killed Heimdall last turn, Caleb, because Heimdall was in the back row and he mutant bombed for just the front row there. Oh, and he got a cane. So we do power up on Langley. We get a cane out of Adams, or keys. I'm sorry, we get a keys out of Adam's hand, which is double power up.
Yep, that's a good removal.
Oof. 2 cards in the counter, and we get the 1 Leviathan that Adam runs. Rough. You got to say, this is a place you don't expect Thanos to be with 2 cards in hand. He's the one that normally puts you on the back foot, emptying your hands and making you play from top deck mode.
Yeah, absolutely. This might be a little uncharacteristic, uncharted waters for Adam here. We'll see how he can rebound.
Vern is confused. I'm not sure why. We're going to find out.
That's Adam's nose.
So we got to get close into attacks here.
Yeah.
Nice thing about Wasp putting that package in is that he's a 3rd power up. Wow.
So how do you feel about the current board state, Carlos? How are you feeling?
Wow. I mean, you know the gunman package is powerful, but to have 3 power-ups in hand, to have
Yeah.
3 discards in a row is devastating no matter who you're playing against. And then we get a match. Yikes. Very little Adam can do here. And that discard's so devastating for Thanos because he needs to be putting, he packs so many 1-drops, he needs to be putting those on the board to push his XP.
I feel like this was an ideal hand for Ben to start the game.
A mitt full of gunmen and I need your help is definitely what he wants to see. There's absolute power in that hand there. So Adam's got a Cosmo. I think that's just a body at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cosmo's out on the board. Ben's using the blue to pay for Hondo.
So he's got 3 out now, and he gets Mordo. Pretty obvious. I'm not sure that Adam's in a really threatening state here to be gauntleting anytime soon, but definitely with seeing Mystique come out is a good call to get Mordo on the field. Ben's being really strategic with his formation here too. He's not putting a whole lot up there. He's being very cautious with his cards.
Cautious. Yeah. Even despite the fact that the way the board looks right now, you got to remember Outriders only has 3 wounds. He's got one of them with 2 wounds already. But he is definitely playing cautious. He doesn't want to underestimate what Adam can do with Thanos. Emptying his hand, though, was huge.
And it is important to mention that we know what the lists are, but Ben and Adam do not know what the opponent's list is. So he's probably still expecting there to be something like a Metal and Fire or a lot more Comet Fall guys, and the deck to be teched much more specifically against Outrider.
Correct, yeah. Langley on the attack. And the Cosmo.
Well, he's got 4 counters. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Kick poor Cosmo. He's just, what is he going to do?
Oh, man.
So we've got 4 XP on Thanos, 2 more. He needs 2 more, and we're going into turn 4, but Adam has 2 cards in hand. He's down to top deck mode. And this is the place where OG Thanos would have gauntleted. This is the gauntlet turn.
Yeah. Now we know he discarded a keys and he also discarded a yellow.
So Kane's going to be up there and just soak up a hit. I think we can look at this as Adam going to 4 wounds this turn. I'm interested to know how many characters he has in the bin. Because if he can find a way to get to that Mordo and then he can court death, that's going to help him sort of mitigate eating all these wounds. He's going to make it a little harder on Ben. Ben's going to have to formate differently, and he's going to have to run in with more resources.
Yeah, he's going to be on 4 wounds this turn. I mean, you got to start thinking about. I mean, if Thanos is already in the back row, you need something to protect him at this point. And if he's got 21 drops, he should be able to drop something with the board.
Well, you'd think he could, but he doesn't have a hand.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen 4 power-ups, 4 discarded cards. That
Langley power-up was huge. Absolutely huge. And it looks like Adam ran Thanos to avoid a possible Killmonger.
Yeah, that's a smart play, right? You're taking a wound anyway. Put Thanos face down. That way you don't have to worry about Killmonger coming. And all you have to worry about is getting rid of that Mordo to court death.
Yeah. And you know the wound is coming either way, so
yeah, you're not escaping that wound, so that's right. The self sack is a good play there.
then with another Heimdall.
Does he go and get Killmonger?
Ooh, it sounds like he might be going for a vulture. I know he's running a vulture.
Ah, his one vulture. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Winter Soldier.
Oh, he's going for Winter Soldier.
So I believe that's a 2 of in the deck for him.
Yeah, he's running 2 Winter Soldiers. He's running the hero villain Winter Soldier, obviously. Gonna try to avoid plot twists with Combat Master.
Yeah, that guy gives Combat Master, and that's such a big thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not. I kind of feel like it's a bad draw if you know clearly what Adam has in his build, but since Ben doesn't know that, that's something that is a good pull.
So Ben's just pretty safe here, just building up board state and sort of resisting. And this is the sort of board state that I would like to have somebody like Poncho in the full anti-Outrider deck for. You've obviously got to get rid of Mordo, but Poncho, when you look at an Outrider player who's trying to play a little more conservatively, that red location for Poncho just kills everybody in the back row. So if
anybody doesn't know what Poncho does, it puts a -1/-1 counter on each enemy character in the back row. So if you're hiding some Outriders back there, it's going to be a problem.
All right, 6 XP this turn. As long as Adam plays a character, Thanos gets the 6, and we at least get level 2 here. Now he's going into turn 5, so we're obviously a turn behind where we want to be, but the old list ran Goblin Queen, who was basically a guaranteed level on 4 anyway, and Adam does not. So he has omitted Goblin Queen in this update. What I find interesting is
What's that, Carlos?
I say what I find interesting is he has a lot. Like he's packed a lot of agents in there for the scry, for the deck stacking, for search that way, and we haven't seen really any of those guys. Okay, match. So tell me, Joe, who does match go for? Does match go for Langley? Do we try to get rid of the gunman, or do we just go for a dog?
I think you got to go for Langley.
It seems like if you can get Langley off the board and force Ben to pay some recruit points to do more damage to your hand and drop more counters, that does seem like, oh, and we scooped. We're done. Game 1, 5 wounds. right? Adam scoops. He wasn't digging himself out of the hole.
Yep. Game one goes to Ben, Mr. Ben. And Marcellus commented, "This doesn't sound like an optimized Thanos for a battle against OR." Yeah, I would say it's not optimized in the sense where he's not packing his most powerful options. We had talked about this before. Adam's looking for more of a strategic approach, I believe. He's trying to avoid the main road direct approach, if you will.
Yeah. So the idea here is he just basically tried to update Thanos to what a current version would look like, as opposed to this game or this match, this fight night being, look, Illustrated has this card package that beats Outrider. And that's Comet Fall, and that's Christie, and that's Metal and Fire, and that's, you can look at the plot twist and the guys from Prey. We didn't want this to be like, look, put this package behind any MC and kill Outrider, because really it's just all your SCs doing the work.
Yeah, you
right?
can definitely plug that package in with any MC.
This is Thanos. Thanos is fighting Outrider, and so he didn't want to go that route and basically have the other conversation happen and say, like, well, yeah, great, Thanos won, but he didn't do the Thanos thing. He didn't gauntlet. He wasn't even trying to gauntlet. He just played this suite of cards that beats Outrider.
Yeah, and again, Adam he knows the cards. You know what I mean? Like, he knows the options. He knows the plays. When Ben and I were testing too, we had a Thanos build that packed Christie and all the other obvious choices. But the idea was to, in Adam's build, try a different approach to beat Outriders.
Yeah, he's going to play a different game, and I think this is going to be interesting, because if this Thanos comes out ahead, if he can pull out these next two games, this is a list of Thanos that you could put against a different MC, right? And still have it work, and a good chance of Thanos being a really difficult hurdle to overcome, as opposed to if you just put in all the anti-OR tech and put that against Thor or Rogue, you just lose. You get blitzed.
Yeah, let's see what else we can do with the cards. I like that approach. I think it makes it a little more fun to see. I think Ben also drew an optimal hand for what he wanted on turn 1 or even turn 2. Getting that Langley out was a big hit to Adam's Thanos.
Oh yeah.
Playing top deck on turn 3, turn 4. That's rough.
We know how powerful crushing your hand is, right? Thanos is the original one that crushed your hand.
Yeah,
and it happened on 4.
Kind of like, taste of your own medicine situation there.
Yeah, right. How do you like it?
Yeah. All right. So, in between these games here, do you think Thanos comes back and makes this a 1-1 series, or do you think Ben cleans up here?
I think so. I think looking at Adam's hand, I don't think he got an optimal draw. I don't think you saw a lot of the stall, the Iceman. Well, he doesn't play Iceman, but he didn't see the Black Widow. He only saw one Wasp. He saw Squirrel Girl, but the one got discarded. So I think he gets a better play on this. I don't think Ben's lucky enough to draw into a fistful of gunmen 2 times in a row.
Ooh. And losing keys too really hurt.
Losing keys is rough. Now, I think ideally Adam needs to get a couple dogs dead by 3 when he expects Mordo to show up. So ideally, I think he wants one or two down on 3. There we go, Black Widow.
Adam goes first. Drops a Vault, drops a Widow.
All right, blue. Do
And
we
just for
see?
the folks,
What do we see from Ben?
looks like we've got some adjustment here going on formation with the Outriders.
All but one. Now my question is: he going to go in hog wild? Is he going to swing all in for the attack? One on Widow, and then 12 on Thanos, or if he goes 2 and 2 again.
I think he plays conservative again.
Smart money is the 2 and 2, and we had a lot of this conversation before midwinter about how to play Outrider, and if you just swing in all 6 bodies all the time.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No, I think that's overall. I think that's a sloppy move.
Yeah, I would agree. And you could see Ben just went 1 for 1 into Widow,
Yep.
and then went 2 into Thanos. So
There we see. This is what Adam wants to see here, right? Wasp and Widow. So we get 3 free wounds coming into turn 2. Adam can cycle his XP up by sacking in. So Ben should have another wound on an Outrider, because Wasp and Widow both drop counters. There we go.
Yeah, I think they're hashing that out right now.
Let's make sure. You might want to jump in there and let him know if we start to move to Ben's turn and he's not.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Hey guys, did you get the -1 counter from Wasp? Okay.
Oh, he hit Heimdall. Okay, so we killed Heimdall with
Yeah.
Wasp. All right.
Thanks, Bert. All right, so
So I missed that. He decided to take Heimdall out with Wasp. Good call.
yeah,
Right. You don't need Ben searching with the blue showing for a gunman on 2 or Mordo on 3 like happened last game.
all right, we're gonna see Langley hit the board here.
Oh, all right,
Thanos
1.
got 2
There's 1.
wounds. Let's see if he can power up again like he did last game.
How many does he have in hand?
We're about to find out. I would imagine. There's 1.
Adam loses a blue. So he runs a suite of 20 locations, which you never want to see him go, but it's better than hitting something that gives you XP.
He needed that. He needed that right now. He was looking good for the gauntlet.
Well, we don't know what he has in hand, and 3 XP, so we'll see what he throws down here.
Ben's still being cautious with his formations with the Outriders. Still a good approach.
He is. So Aaron just counted his bin. He's got 3 in the bin. I'm guessing that that means he doesn't have any way to level this turn and gauntlet. So he's just looking at what's gonna make him bigger and force Ben in if he courts death.
Oh, he's rowing and upside down. That's not helpful.
No.
It hurts.
All right, Squirrel Girl.
Adam contemplating what's his next move.
I think he's got to put Thanos in the back here. Unless, if he's playing another 1-drop, that's good, right? If he can get down
All right,
another...
so we see Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, if he can get down another Black Widow or a Wasp and kill that Outrider, that's good. But oh no, he's just going in.
Do you think he's just trying to do some damage right now?
I'm surprised he kept Thanos up front. I think you drop Thanos in the back, right? You still run in your Squirrel, right? You try to get Monkey Joe out, but I think you run Thanos in the back and force him to come to you.
You know, maybe he's comfortable at 2 wounds going in around taking a wound. By that same token, Adam's got his recruits out. There's nothing from stopping the Outriders from clearing the board and then hitting Outrider as well.
I guess at this point he's going to take the wound anyway. He might as well get the extra stun on Outrider. Squirrel Girl's got 2 life.
He should level here.
Well, Squirrel Girl's got 2 life, so if Outrider is foolish enough to go and attack into Squirrel Girl, he's going to give him the 2 XP he needs right away on turn. So Ben's play here might not be just to attack Thanos and walk away. Big question, I think.
I don't know if we're going to see a game 3 out of this matchup, but we are going to have a fight night coming up again as well. I just want to get that out there before the crowd disappears. But there will be another fight night coming up. We'll have more matches as well. This is not just a one-off. This is just something for everybody to tune into. I believe next we're going to try to get Peter from Team Attack, and rumor has it that what is it, Vern coming up against Peter?
Vern and Peter, Royce versus Mr. Black.
Yeah, that's Mr. Black. That's Peter's favorite MC, or one of them for sure. He loves playing that one. I kind of feel like that's up there for Vern too, Royce. I think he beat me with Royce one year at Midwinter. Might
Sounds
have
right.
been on the stream. Yeah, so stay tuned for information about that.
So Peter's saying that Heimdall gave Thanos an XP, but it looks like he's only at 4. His counter's only at 4. So Adam might be 1 short or down 1 XP on his counter here from what he should be. There we go. All right, they're fixing it here.
Yeah, I just jumped into the stream real quick and told him. So shout out to Peter for keeping an eye on that. Thank you. So Fight Night 2 will be Vern versus Peter. Team Attack versus
Apex.
Team Apex. It's going to be a showdown next Fight Night. I'll make sure I put another poster together that really riles folks up like the last one.
And for anybody that wasn't paying attention, we did put a poll up in the collective for who the collective thought was going to win this, and the winner of the poll actually got, or I should say, the loser of the poll. So they get to choose who plays first game 1. So there's no roll off. It's just the collective gets to choose by saying Thanos was going to lose. Adam got first call on to play or draw.
And we'll continue to do that too, or maybe we'll have some other fun ways to get the community involved. maybe do a poll as to what decks people play up in the future. But we wanted to get a couple of these out, and we thought this was a good way to go about it.
Oh, I do not want to join the collective. I just did a bunch of
All
buttons.
right, Ben, pass and turn.
All right, so we get Monkey Joe up here, which is going to be our level for Thanos.
So how do you feel about where Thanos sits right now? It's turn 4. We saw him discard a blue. He's sitting on 2 resources that can be utilized.
I think this
3
is
wounds.
this 3 wounds. I think is expected, right? Going into turn 4, this is probably what he expects to be at. And turn 4, at least he has his level now. So ideally, you're going to see. So ideally, here you're going to see a keys come down, and he gets to gauntlet. I think that's the optimum play here.
If he could play a resource.
Well, he played the yellow.
Oh yeah, he did. Okay, sorry, my stream's a little slow sometimes.
Okay. Otherwise, also we've got Victoria hand. So there it is. So he gauntlets now.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
turn four ideal. He does gauntlet.
Says I've seen a gauntlet. Were they just plugging Theo's coasters? I think Ben's plugging Theo's coasters right now.
So here we go, and we've got a Kane. So he's going to pull. Ooh. Does he need to use Vicky hand? Yellow. All right. So he's working his way up to the second gauntlet right now.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm pretty excited to see a gauntlet go off.
This is the one.
I have not played Thanos in forever.
You can kind of see the makeup of Adam's deck there. 1 Leviathan. He's got the agent or the agents for search. He's got some match. He's got all the mystiques in there for mutant bomb. So it really is a really straightforward deck where you're just digging for pieces. And I think this is exactly where you try to gauntlet. Right? You obviously don't ideally want to be at 3 wounds on turn 4, but against Outrider, I don't think there's anything else you can ask for.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
So what do you think, Joe? How does Outrider deal with Gauntlet? Right, this is going to put Ben in top deck mode. It's going to blow up 2 of his dogs, and it's basically going to clear his board. So all of his board advantage is gone. I would imagine Thanos probably gets dropped in the back after this, just to be a little more safe.
I don't know if it's going to matter much. Ben's got a pretty decent board right now. He is going to lose 2 dogs, so he'll be down 2 attackers. But he's got the Langley out there. He's got Yondu still.
Well, Langley's going to be gone. Yondu's gone. Heimdall's gone. As soon as he gauntlets, everybody's gone.
Yeah.
His board drops to 4 dogs, 12 attack.
I think you need to put Thanos in the back. If you don't put Thanos in the back, then
he's keeping him up front.
See, this is what Adam was trying to go for. The non-obvious approach to beating Outriders. It's more fun for him to play or to exclude Christie and Metal and Fire. I think the win will be a little more satisfying if he can get it here.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if he gets this win, it shows that, you know, this is a Thanos deck that we could put to the side and we could put against someone else, right? We could throw it against Mimic or we could throw it against Rogue and kind of see how it puts up there. So what is Ben losing? He's losing a Scully. He's losing a Killmonger. He's losing Whiplash, Maria Hill, 2 more, and Winter Soldier. Ooh, that's a good hand. He had a good mitt.
All right, so we're going to see Langley disappear. The gauntlet goes off.
That's it. Wow. So he's got to draw. He wants to draw a Mordo. That's what he wants here. Or what does he want to draw? What does he want to draw for 3? Does he want to draw 2 gunmen? Does he want to draw a resource? You know, he's going to be going into 3 resources again. So he's dropped down. But you said he plays a lot of low drops.
Yeah. Yeah, he's running 11 1-drops. So he's trying to hit them frequently. And Marcellus, we'll post the deck lists after the fight night.
Oh, Caleb. No, sorry, Caleb. I haven't looked at Thanos in, years. So it's only going to hit one
It's only going to hit
one of his SCs.
Supporting character.
Yeah, one of his SCs.
Yeah. All right. So we put a wound on one of the riders.
Yep. Well, we killed one.
Yeah, he killed one, and another one looks like he got a wound.
I'm surprised he didn't run into Squirrel Girl.
So Carlos,
Hmm.
who do you got in versus Royce versus Mr. Black? Who are you thinking about that matchup? Looking ahead towards the future a little bit.
Ooh. I don't know. We've played and tested so much with Mr. Black here. I think it's got to be Mr. Black. There's something about that Predator kit that's just so powerfully good.
Nice. So Ben still has the 5 Outriders, Yondu and Hamdall, out on the board. Is it still too much? Thanos is in the front row still.
So he's a 6. He gets the Court Death for free on his next turn. And you're guessing that he's going to get 3 more characters in there, because I would expect Outrider to go whole hog in and hit everybody.
Or do you play it smart? No, he's gonna try to clear it.
Well, I guess the tokens don't go to the KO pile, right? So he only has 2 more.
He only has 2 more. If he decides to go for Victoria Hand, but I mean, you would want to avoid the court.
I think you have to. You can't give him a free Court Death.
Yeah, not at all.
So there's the shock. And what does Ben have? Does Ben have 2 more? He's got a friend from work.
Ooh, that's a big play right there. That's a big counter to the shock.
Anytime, just like with Think Again, anytime you force your opponent to cancel their own attack, I think you're up.
I think it's a good move. Yeah, I agree with you.
And there we go. Vicky's gone.
Vicky's gone now. So Thanos at 4 wounds. No bodies on the board. Adam, has 2 cards in hand?
Man, so I'm guessing
That
Adam
doesn't
didn't.
help.
I'm guessing Adam didn't draw a location. We know he got an academy from Kane. Do we see him keys? Does he use the yellow to freeze one of the riders? Or does he keys for Thanos to court death?
I think you would want to keys to court.
It looks that looks like that's it. He's counting up how many characters Ben has.
He's got to do something, but I think that'll be two characters. How many characters does he have? What was the
Adam,
final
he's
count
got a few. I'm looking.
yeah,
So
okay.
if he takes out the rider with 2 wounds, that's going to leave him with what, 12, 13, 14, 15 attack on the riders. Does somebody have 10 characters in the bin? Nine. Looks like Ben had 9.
All right. So what is Thanos sitting at now?
Let's see. Well, if he got 9, that would make him a 15. So that would tie him with a full out Outrider attack. But I can't. Yep, he's got 9. He's got 6 and 3. So he's got 9. He's a 15-15 up there.
Yeah. So there's enough to get there.
There is. So I think what happens here is Thanos goes into the rider with 2 wounds, gets rid of him, and then Keys is a 4/6, so he can clear a counter off another rider, right? And that should put you down to 14 attack on the riders.
Ooh.
That's going to force. Do you remember what Yondu came down as? Did he come down as a villain or as a hero?
I'm not sure. I don't recall. We'll see how it has to play.
Anybody in chat here? Do you know what he came down as? I'm guessing with all the counters on Outriders that he came down as a hero, which means that he's not going to be useful in pushing the riders over that hump to hit Adam. So Ben's going to be relying on a top deck here to pull a villain he can use to get enough attack through. And the big thing here is Ben. I can't remember if Ben packed any Sokovia Accords in his deck. So if Adam can push out one more turn without getting Thanos stunned and pulls into another green, then he's going to get way too big for Outrider to touch.
This is going to be interesting to see how he can come back from this.
So chat's confirming that he came down as a hero. So
He did. Yeah, the counters were where we were at. So you were right about
my
that.
guess at the board state was amazingly accurate. Who knew? This is it. This is the pivotal shot right here.
Yeah, this is a big turn.
What Ben really plays could really. I think this is the turn that shapes the entire match right here.
So Ben's approach is going to be to attack the whole board here. He's got to. If he doesn't clear Keys. That's a 4/6 that can take out another Outrider.
Yep. But he's also got to worry about that Thanos, and he basically has to commit every attack on the board to Thanos. So Ben's forming. Did he not play? Did Ben skip a drop?
It's looking like it. It's looking like he doesn't have a play this turn or drop this turn.
Well, he's got cards in hand, so he could have 2 more grows. 2 more is going to give his riders enough to breach that Thanos. He's just going to pray that one of those cards in Adam's mitt isn't a shock.
And Ben's running 12 plot twists. I don't feel like we've seen a hefty amount of plot twists coming from him this game.
All right,
So
there it
he
is.
could be holding on to something.
6 coming in. He's going for keys, and he's going to leave Thanos alone. Oh.
Well, he's team attacking into Thanos, it seems like. I don't think he's leaving him alone.
Oh, there we go. There's Sokovia is. All right. I think that might be all she wrote right there. Let's see if Adam pulls a green here. If he can court death again this turn, he might have a chance to pull out of this spiral, but he's in a bad place as it is.
Yep. Thanos is sitting there alone again.
Oh, there it is. There's our green.
He needed that. Now, does Ben have a counter for that? Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
And a cane.
Doesn't have to dig too far for that.
Well, he shouldn't. 20 locations. He's pretty
Yeah.
much set there. Sharon's going to scry and draw a card.
Mm-hmm. Sharon Carter hits the board.
So this is going to be good for Adam here. He's going to get, and Cosmo, he's going to get a couple. He's going to get Outriders all the way down, I think, on this turn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the Outriders were Cosmoed. Sharon's going to pepper one of the other Outriders.
Yeah. Now I'm surprised he didn't nullify an Outrider with a counter on it so that Kane could hit them.
That would have been a good call. Clear a counter too, make Thanos that much more safer.
Oh, okay. So he powers up Sharon to get the other Outrider. There's the solution there. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Thanos is back to a 15-15. And he goes in.
Man, that's a big swing right there.
So Sokovia here wins the day. Does Ben have another one?
He's running 4 of them.
He's got, looks like 1 card in hand.
Yeah. So either he's sitting on it or maybe he top decks it. I don't know. If you're Ben, are you worried right now?
No, I think you've got 3 Outriders. You know, you've got a number of turns left here. I think you're okay. Next, if he has nothing this turn, I think he worries. So I gotta say, Joe, these games are taking longer than I expected. Right, getting to turn 7 is not what I expected. Not where I expected to be.
I honestly didn't think it would go to turn 7. I would agree with you, man. It's interesting to see it hang on this long. But when you got 6-man characters, sometimes that happens. Morto's coming down.
All right.
Is it too little, too late for Morto at this point? I would think so.
Yeah, there's really nothing left for him to do with court death, so I think he's just a team attack body right up there if you need him.
So it looks like Ben's 1 attack short.
He is. He's got 14 with all the Outriders and Morto, and Thanos is a 15. He's 1 short.
Marcellus in chat, he also agrees this game should have gone to turn 7. But again, if you're not playing an optimal build to go against the Outriders and you're trying something different, sometimes you end up here. So let's see what Ben does. Alright, so he clears Sharon.
Clear Sharon, we pass turn, so we're back to Adam.
Yeah.
Drops a training ground. And we'll see. I mean, Adam should have nothing but characters and locations, viable characters and locations in his hand at this point.
I like Ben's formation right now. He puts Yondu up front and then a 1 wound Outrider.
It's unique to see Outrider on the back foot like this. It's not what you expect. I think hiding the Outrider is the right play. That's what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So Widow comes down.
Widow comes down. We're starting to clear up the board, right? Cosmo attacks an Outrider. Thanos is going to get Yondu, and then Black Widow obviously is going to go for the other Outrider to get a second wound. So now I think Ben worries.
Yeah.
He's got 6 attack. We'll say 11 with Morto. So if he draws a Sokovia, right, we can guess that's going to be telegraphed because he's putting everybody up front and just swinging to high heaven. If he doesn't draw the Sokovia here, I don't think he wins.
If he drops a villain.
Well, he's got 6, 11,
I don't think he can
so he needs to get
4 attack and hope that Adam's
he needs to get 4 attack and hope that Adam doesn't have the shock.
Yeah.
But he's got, all right, so here it is. He's got Heimdall. He's got the Avengers Tower. He's going to use Heimdall, and he's going to search for his team attacker. And this is what he has to do. Like, if he holds back at all, the game ends.
Well, I think you're in the do or die situation now, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to make something happen. I think at this point he goes for Vulture, so Vulture gets that +1/+1 while attacking.
There it is, yep. And that was it. Cosmo in hand. Adam's got nothing. He did not have the answer.
And I was just thinking of illustration too. My mistake.
Scully. That is, when Ben was showing me the list and we were talking about it, I kept telling him I don't know, I don't see Scully. I'm on the fence about her. That's the one card in his setup that I just wasn't feeling, and
right.
And he did not use it once.
Nope. I actually told him to cut Scully a bit, try to get something else in there too when we were trying to put it together.
He was committed to her, and I will say there were a number of times during the game that had he drawn her, he had Outriders with 1 wound, so he could have used
there
her.
goes Sat
But
Thanos. Sat Thanos on the stream right now.
all right, so that's 2 of 3.
That's
Should
game
we?
2. I think they were gonna play one more. I'll stick around for sure if we want to still stream, Carlos. That's up to you.
Are they? Well, let's see, because if they're going to play one more, we'll stay here. If not, we'll jump out of this call and we'll jump into Skype there and talk it over with the guys.
Yeah, let me jump into the stream and see what they're doing. Oh, you know what? They are going for a game 3.
They are going for a game 3. All right.
Yeah, Adam wants to go another round. It was his choice. He wants to see if he can pick up a win here. So, seeing 2 games against Outriders with a deck that's geared for Thanos, not geared towards Outriders, do you feel Thanos is doing okay? What are your thoughts?
I think he's doing right, and I think it's funny that Caleb asked, do I even know what Thanos does? And it's sort of like looking back, I guess, that no, because we all had, the OG players, he was this big specter of a boogeyman, right?
Yeah,
and you knew he ruined boards, but it's just so different against Outrider.
Yeah. So my first Gen Con was the Thanos year, where everybody was running him. I actually had Thanos built, but I ended up running Luke Cage, and I got bodied. I got bodied pretty bad. But I didn't want to run Thanos because everybody was doing it. But now it's fun to see. It's cool to see a gauntlet go off. That was fun to see.
It is, and I think it just
great too.
It just shows how overall immune to a lot of these effects that are devastating to normal decks Outriders are.
Yeah.
Just hitting one MC, Dormammu or Thanos or Deadpool. Well, not Deadpool, or say Gamora or somebody. Any of these sort of like devastating alt-win things that kill your MC or target your MC don't work against Outrider because they just have so many of them.
Yeah, you're running 6 MCs. It's gonna be difficult. I mean, you've got to drop. It's just a little much, which I think that's what everybody was saying. I mean, if there was 5 of them, it would even be better. It's 3 less wounds you have to tack on. If there was 5 of them at the start of the game, that game could have gone the other way. That was a very close game. And there's another plug for Theo from Team Attack. Got them coasters. Hit up their Facebook page, Team Attack Podcast, if you're looking for some coasters. All right, so who's going first this round? Let's see.
I think Adam has to continue going first.
Oh, they're not going to alternate? Okay. I didn't know if it was they were alternating, but he did go first last round.
I think they give it loser's choice here and just see what happens. Now, another thing we did discuss doing was basically giving Thanos a couple different builds and like opening him up to banned Cosmo and banned Singularity. If he lost a game, was then letting his deck morph a little bit. But Adam didn't use kind of that old frame style Thanos. He went entirely different with this build.
I would have liked to have seen the Christie. I would have liked to have seen the Thanos deck as well that was optimized for OR. I think even if you're just putting Christie in there, that would have made a big difference. Even if you left out Metal and Fire. But not Adam's approach, and that's A-okay. But it's like, again, the package is what's important.
It is, and Christie in that last game, I think, would have made all the difference.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That was a close game. Very close game. Vern in chat, it's just not a good matchup for Thanos. Is anybody a good matchup for Outriders? That's kind of tough, you know. It's a tough deck to beat.
Well, I think this opens it up to maybe doing another fight night and just choosing an MC and putting in the anti-outrider tech. And I mentioned Daredevil before. Yeah. Maybe doing something where you just take a total garbage MC, right? Give him Angel.
Yeah.
And put in the anti-OR tech, and see if a really abysmal MC can beat Outrider, teched solely against that deck with every possible advantage given to it. Because we talk about these anti-tech cards that exist, but nobody builds specific anti-decks just for one MC when they go to a tournament. So we all can talk about it existing in theory, but it's not something anybody does, and that might be an interesting thing for us to put on a fight night, right? Is to give the anti-tech deck and see how that fares.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Maybe do that with a couple of them and put them head to head, see what we can do, run them against Outriders. Maybe do a best of 3 and have multiple decks that we run against Outriders, see how they do. There's so many options available for our Fight Night series that we're going to have. It's definitely going to be something that's going to be unique for the community to see. Just some one-off matches, some good content, some people you want to see play games, and some interesting matchups.
I think that's the fun of it.
Like to see, yeah, that's the whole point of it. And I would definitely like to see OG Thanos come back, make another appearance.
It'll be an interesting. Maybe we just put him. Maybe we throw OG Thanos against all the other OP decks here, right? We throw him against Mimic and see how he does. We throw him against everything that came after his time. And there have been people saying in the collective for years that OG Thanos isn't as powerful or isn't as frightening as he used to be now in the current game.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really good chance to illustrate that or test that theory.
So looking at the game, getting back to the game, Carlos, we've seen 4 wounds hit the board against the Outriders.
I've seen a shock happen. Yeah, this game is, and no wounds on Thanos, which is extremely interesting.
No, this is a way different looking game than the first 2.
Right, for Thanos to avoid wounds any turn, especially turn 1, is not what you expect to see.
You know what else is interesting? If Ben's holding a Langley here, I think he definitely needs something to help him out right now. Adam's got a Kane.
He gets a laboratory off of that.
Vern, he's feeling confident against the Outriders with Odin or the Bark Monsters. The Bark Brothers. Whew. Vern, we're going to reach out to you. Maybe you'll run a couple of these fight nights. I know Team Apex was big on Odin this midwinter.
They were.
I actually had a Bark Brothers geared up for midwinter, but I backed out. I chickened out. Vern. I didn't play it.
They're such a fun deck. They're definitely they're a favorite of mine.
It's good stuff. So Thanos is by himself again.
Yep, Thanos Saxon to Kane, right, gets his XP, hits the Outrider.
You know, the state of the board is looking a lot different in Game 3.
It'll be interesting to talk to him after this and see what happened, what the differences here between Game 2 and Game 3 are, especially if Thanos pulls out this win. Oh, here we go, Grandmaster. This is one that we have not yet seen. both
No, we have
games,
not seen a
and we had
Grandmaster.
not seen Grandmaster come down. And this is just a clutch card in any matchup with Outrider. This might be where it just spirals away instantly.
It's so funny how we've been talking about how great Thanos has been looking, and now he's just sitting there by himself, and he's just gonna be pickings right now.
It shows you how much, because we've seen it in games and tournaments before, how much one single card can totally swing the direction of a game, and this 2-drop is absolutely one of those cards.
So Thanos has got 1 wound, but the Outriders board is just a little ridiculous.
Yeah, but you're looking at
turn.
You're looking at a suite of 5/3 ferocious. I mean, I don't think there's much you can do here and hope to pull out of this position.
No, I'm curious to see if Adam plays anything here, because he's going to need to do something. I mean, if I'm Ben, I'm not even going to run into one of his other MC supporting character at this point. I'm just going to keep running the army into Thanos.
Yeah, his shot here is to play Mystique. Up, and there she is.
Yep,
so,
and there it is.
So that's the play, right? You throw it on Mystique. You're going to blow up the entire board. And the only thing it's not going to get you is it's not going to get you that swing at Grandmaster, which means you're going to have that exact same board state next turn.
Yeah. That was a big play.
That's what he needed. That was the out. And his out again is another Mystique, and for Ben not to play Mordo.
That's a lot of ifs.
There's a lot. There's a significant amount that needs to happen here, right? Adam needs to draw or have in hand another red. He needs to have or draw another Mystique, and he needs for Ben to not pull Mordo.
Skirk, this is game 3. Odin. I'm reading Marcellus's comments. Outriders is up 2-0. Adam wanted to go for 1 more.
Yeah, we originally planned on a best of 3 series, so we can say that Outrider officially won the first ever Team Attack and Build Phase Fight Night, Thanos versus Outrider. Outrider took it handily.
Carlos, you mean the Build Phase Team Attack?
Whatever.
Fight Night.
Adam was a ringer anyway. I didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. Oh man.
You guys put a plant. Oh, and once again, Scott's right. Mystique is not a superpower. She's one of those weird new powers where your main character can pay it and have it happen.
Shout out to Scott. He's got a sweet mustache.
So safety's sake here, Ben's pulling 3 of his wounded dogs in the back. Does he have the power-ups? Does he have the power-ups for buyers? Is he going to wreak havoc here?
So he's hiding 4 of the dogs. So it's interesting to see, even though Ben took the best of 3, this game 3 has been unfolding.
This game 3 has probably been the most interesting match here yet. And game two was good. Game 2 was probably the closest game we've seen. This one I think has been the most optimal for Adam.
And you gotta wonder too, like, when was the last time Adam played Thanos? You know what I mean?
Well, that would be ThanosCon, I would imagine.
Yeah.
There it is, Langley. He's gonna rip his hand apart.
There it is. Now Byers puts the -1 counters. If he's not gonna play Langley, it looked like he used Langley for a power up.
Yep.
So he put a -1 on Sharon.
Put a -1 on Sharon, and he's going to pitch a card from Adam's hand. So the question now is how many does he have? Oh, and he hit a green. And he's got another one. Oh, 2.
Oh, man. So we see Sharon disappear. Back to Thanos standing his ground alone.
And Adam's down to 2 cards in hand. He lost Vicky. Oh, that's a rough one. He lost a green and another Langley. A third Langley. This is it. I can't see this game going anywhere else. Wow. There's just the power of the gunman package for you. It's
such a crazy package.
It's brutally efficient, and you know I chatted with Adam briefly about if this wasn't just a one shot off, and we were sort of grinding and teching this deck, Thanos would be putting Zola in as one of the one drops, so cycling out somebody and putting in Zola as a substitute.
That would have been an interesting move.
Just for that exact purpose, right? He's going to give you XP. He's going to disrupt your opponent's hand. And with the bonus that for a blue you can go and get one for free for the next turn. So he'll help you always get a body on the board for XP.
So Thanos is on the board by himself. He's got 4 experience. He's got 2 wounds against a pretty battered Outriders team here.
Wow, man, it's battered, but if he doesn't have just an extremely powerful turn, then yeah, he doesn't do much here. He can't get it for the Outriders, and the two up front are 5 ferocious. What?
The formation has been really good for Ben these last 3 games. He's been cautious. He's been playing conservative with the Outriders, making sure that if they are in jeopardy, he moves them for protection. Some sort of stealth I thought would have been good to throw into the Thanos build, because you know at some point somebody was going to hide an Outrider.
Yeah, yep.
So we see a Sharon and a Black Widow come down. Grandmaster's still on the board.
I don't think he can get to Grandmaster. I'm not sure there's anything he can do.
Skirk in chat is asking if we've seen a Christie from Thanos in a previous match. No, Skirk, we have not, because Adam did not pack that into the build. Adam's approach was try to be a little more strategic and not take the
obvious road.
Yeah, the obvious road. Try to be a little more strategic and see if we could get a win with Thanos outside of
he's
and things like that.
He's playing what he views as an updated Thanos deck with the current card pool, and if you were to make any deck against any set of MCs or any other deck that wasn't Outrider, you just don't play Christie. You know, that's a really specific card against Outrider. And since his view was just to make an updated version of Thanos, that didn't fit.
And Theo, Ben's up to nothing right now.
2-0, and I'm guessing here that he'll run with the hat trick.
I don't know, man. I'm curious to see what happens here.
I'm trying to think of the lines of play here, and I guess the obvious, if you want to go really aggressive, is you put 2 Outrider up front, and you leave 1 in back. You take out Wasp and Sharon, and then you get a couple counters on 1 more of your Outriders by going into Thanos, and you keep 1 in back just to be safe. But there you're still.
Ben's already down to 4 Outriders.
Yeah, but then you're still afraid of that mutant bomb.
Yeah.
So I think the right play here is for him to be a little safer with what he's doing, and maybe keep those Outriders in the back until at least they get big enough to deal with a mutant bomb falling.
So Yondu just came down
twice.
And
2 Yondus.
2 Yondus came down.
Both
Skirk
of them good, so he's...
Yeah. I think those Outriders in the back row needed those counters.
Yeah.
Wasp could have got there for sure. So that was a good move by Mr. Ben to recruit 2 Yondus just to get those additional...
So here we go. Counters. So now Ben's at the point where I expected he might be, and I think this works for him. He's able to basically hit Wasp, get her out of the board by using Yondu and Byers. He's able to use one of the Outriders to get Sharon, and then he's able to push in his other 3 into Thanos, effectively getting them out of the range of a mutant bomb. And so he's only really getting 1 that might be hit by something.
Yeah, and then those other 3 are going to get those counters from Grandmaster.
Yeah, and those other 3 get huge. They become 7 5s.
Yeah, so even if you drop another Outrider, your level 2 Thanos is nowhere near as scary as it was in Game 2.
So Thomas said level 2 Thanos might be able to get there. In Game 2, we did see a level 2 Thanos. We did see a Gauntlet, and it just wasn't enough. Even stripping Ben's hand down to 0 cards, it still only wounds 1 of your Outriders. It still only kills 1 of the SCs in the board. And the way that Ben has created this deck is it's such a low end curve that he was able to cycle back in and pull out of that, even having been gauntleted.
Yeah, so you're talking about low end curves. We're looking at Adam's 21 drops versus Ben's 11. You're running 11 1-drops. You got roughly an 80% chance of pulling what you need on 1.
Oh my God! Here it is, another Langley power up. That's 3. Yeah. We have seen 3 Langley power ups here.
Super effective against Thanos' Gauntlet ability, just ripping cards out of the hand.
Man, what a package! What a package!
That was Yondu and the Wasp gets shrunk.
Yep.
Thanos is now leveled.
Thanos is leveled. Now I'm imagining he's going to put Byers. He does not go with Byers into Sharon Carter, or does he? He's thinking. No, wow. See, I'm surprised he didn't throw Byers into Sharon Carter and get the extra 2 counters. I think by this point, by game 3, Ben's pretty confident that the only answer Adam's running here is the mutant bomb. So I would think that you'd wanna put green counters, as many green counters as quickly as you can on those Outriders.
So we've got level 2 Thanos. Only one possible resource currently out on the board. Bunch of oversized Outriders. I think this is where the Outriders no longer serve Thanos, that's for sure.
They found a new master, and that is victory. I think the Outriders really served the gunmen at this point. They owe a whole lot to those guys.
Oh, especially in this matchup, it's really helped out.
It was game 1 and game 3 here. We've seen just how devastating just destroying your hand can be, especially for somebody like Thanos who's trying to combo with 4 different cards.
So in game 1, if I recall correctly, by turn 3 or 4, Adam was top decking.
Yes, yeah. He got turn 2, I believe it was. Ben unloaded a hailstorm of gunmen onto his hand.
And here we are again, turn 4. Some clutch removal already.
So this is it. So this is Mystique, and he's got the red. So this is where you would have thought that he would have run buyers into that Sharon to get the extra counters on those Outriders, because while 2 of them should be well out of range of Mystique, it could have been 3.
Yeah, so I would agree. That's a definite misplay by Mr. Ben. It looks like what now? He's going to go down to 3.
Now he's going to go down to 3.
That's the big hit. And Yondu is a hero because he went with the counters.
Yep.
You can't look for Yondu. The only thing that's working in Ben's favor right now is that court death hasn't happened.
We're looking at...
So he can definitely still get there.
So here we go. So finally we've seen Scully do some work. Another Yondu. This guy is just pulling out. Does he even shuffle? Does Ben shuffle? Let's be honest.
Ugh. It's hard to say sometimes.
These are clumped cards, I feel. I'm calling some shenanigans right here.
I want to point out that those Thanos sleeves that Adam's running, those are nice sleeves, man. Those are really good looking sleeves.
Yeah, those are excellent sleeves.
And the Spider-Man mat, it's just so nice. The Nova Corps one, that's great too. So good aesthetic appeal for the game tonight.
Yeah, and we should point out for anybody interested, both Adam and Stacks have extolled the quality of those snap sleeves. They said there's a little bit of slickness to them when they start, but after a couple games in, they're just incredibly high quality for sleeves in general, and not only art sleeves.
You know, our local game store here in my area picked up the Thanos sleeves and the Spider-Man mat and the Thanos mat and stuff from Upper Deck, which I thought was pretty neat. I didn't expect them to get that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to have.
Spider sleeves, yeah, and the Spider-Man sleeves, Peter. So Thanos moves to 4 wounds.
Thanos moves to 4. We've got the 2 Outriders up front, still well out of the range of another mutant bomb. So I wonder where Thanos goes here. We've got, it looks like 6 characters in Mr. Ben's graveyard, which isn't going to help Thanos. It's going to bring him to a 12. And just the 2 Outriders up front have more than 12 attack.
Yeah.
Adam dumps his hand.
Grandmaster, Adam let Grandmaster sit out on the board, and that's really hurt him as far as counter production. It's a little bit much. And then Yondu, he played 3 Yondus, all heroes, so that's another 3 counters.
3 Yondus. He played 3 Langleys to rip 3 cards out of his hand. It's just been an all day bloodbath against Adam. And the difficulty here is that Outrider is, you look at like, ooh, there's just one Outrider up there in the front, but it's still a 7. So Thomas is asking why Adam hasn't
a good comment. You were just reading that too.
Yeah, why Adam hasn't traded into Outriders to keep Grandmaster from getting counters, and I'm not sure exactly. So once this game is over, we can maybe ask him specifically why he made that choice in this round.
So we see Whiplash at the board. That's something we haven't seen in games 1 or 2.
No, is Ben? I don't know if he didn't draw him or he hadn't played him, but he's.
I don't think he drew any. He's only running 2 Whiplashes, so I don't think he's seen it yet. The first 2 games, so it's making an appearance now. He can drop some -1 counters out there, but does he really have to?
No, I don't think he needs to. I think he can.
I don't think he needs to. I think he saves it. He's also got Maria Hill out on the board now too.
Yeah, and that's
so that's 6/6 stealth on when she gets onto the board.
That's an excellent card, and I'm happy to say that when Ben sent me his first draft, I'm the one that asked him like why aren't you running Maria Hill? And
why isn't she there?
Yeah, and then she probably made her way into that deck.
When I saw she did, man, yeah, and if it was because of you, that was a good addition for the matchup for sure. A 6/6 stealth is a good way to deal with some things, and Thanos is now sitting at 5 wounds. It's not looking good. I think we can see the outcome. The writing is on the wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Adam has any outs here. Looks like they're showing cards. Adam's counting up some SCs, but he's.
I think that's it. I think he's scooping here.
Ben's showing him that he's got the Sokovia, so his counters aren't going to do anything.
So there you have it, the first fight night. Thanos versus Outriders. Outriders takes it 3-0.
Outriders
Mr. Ben with the win. Mm-hmm.
Crushes.
Too much. I kind of felt like it came from all directions. So do we want to hop into the Skype and talk to the fellas?
Let's pull out of this chat and we'll jump into Skype.
All right.
I don't know. Game 2 was pretty good. Game 1, I don't know.
Hey boys, we are back in here with you after a great 3 games there.
So how do you guys feel about that, Adam? Let's start with you. What do you think about Thanos? How did he perform in your opinion?
I only got 1 IG off in 3 games, so that's a little bit disappointing. I missed an XP early in game 1, attacking over the top of the Wasp against Heimdall, which might have changed the game a little bit. If you look at the game 1 and 3, like him mauling my hand with those heavy Langleys, that's brutal. It's tough for me to do that. I mean, he got the Fortress in game 2 that would have let me IG, that might have changed some stuff up around a little bit. Game 2, him ripping that Sokovia Accords off the top after I dumped his hand was gigantic. But that was a really fun game. I think Game 2 is like the way that if you played a bunch of games, I think they'd look a lot more like that most of the time. Game 3 was, I don't know, but is what it is, man. I had fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. I had a good time playing all 3 games.
So how did you feel about Gauntlet in general? You got it off the one time, and it didn't look like it was really very effective against the Outriders overall.
Here. This is how you ask. Was Gauntlet effective? Hey Ben, how'd you feel when I IG'd you?
I saw draws. I was set up to play a next turn, which would have given me good attacks that you couldn't answer with plot twists. But after you gauntleted me, the first turn I drew a Scully and a friend from work, which dodged a wound, and then the next turn I drew a Scully and a Sokovia Accords, which was absolutely crucial.
But you think like the gauntlet in general was very effective. Like you felt like that really swung it back towards me, and that you had to get relevant decks, which you were able to pull.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So Ben, when Carlos and I were watching the stream, when we were watching the games, all 3 games, it looked like you just had whatever you needed whenever you needed it. Did it kind of feel that way to you, that anytime you were looking for something or you needed an out, it was there?
Most of the time, yeah. Like Game 2, after he gauntleted me, it got real touch and go there for a couple of turns. And had he killed my Heimdall instead of my Langley, I think that game might have looked differently.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was a good game. That was fun. That's what it's all about right there.
So Adam, how did it feel for you playing Thanos to get a taste of your own medicine and have, even in game 3, 3 Langleys come down in a row and just tear into your hand?
Oh, you just can't. It was brutal, man. It's that's what won in the game was that turn. Because that's really so if you look at like people that talked about strategy about how to play against Thanos back in the day, it was a lot of attack in the hand, right? So he came at me with that, and that's hard to recover from. I think I still had a turn or two to make some moves, right? But I just kept drawing some. Okay, so the issue with Thanos is like if you don't draw your stuff to get the IG, it's tough to recover because you don't draw like really effective little dudes. So, I mean, he hit 2 green sources out of me. Either one of those green sources might have kind of got me back in the game because I could start dealing with counters, something like that. But, I mean, just brutalizing my hand like that. Like he got Victoria hand and a Fortress out of my hand. So if I level up and then run out an IG and then roll up my yard, it's like, what's the game look like then? I would have liked to gauntlet it a little bit more. But, it's how it is. It's not, but I mean, honestly, this is kind of how it was back in the day. It was like, it was brutal. It wasn't like it was like totally, there's just nothing more powerful than that. Cause I remember Ben's like, do I choose the card? I was like, dude, it's your whole hand. He's like, oh yeah.
So Thomas asked in the chat why in game 3, why you didn't sack your Thanos into the Outriders to kind of help mitigate those counters that Grandmaster was going. Did you have an idea or a plan there?
It wasn't big enough at game 2. I guess I could have done it again and on like turn 3, right?
Well, no, he's asking about game 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like when'd you drop Grandmaster?
I had
Grandmaster, I believe, was on turn 3.
Opening.
Yeah,
played it turn 3.
I don't know. Probably didn't think about it.
There you go, Thomas. That's it.
And then turn. So on turn 3, I played Grandmaster.
I got a question for both of you guys. I know, Adam, your approach to this game was more strategic. You didn't want to come with the obvious package, Christie and the Comet Falls and Metal and Fire. And Ben, I know you were trying to approach the game with how can we most effectively avoid the gauntlet and how can we recover from that if need be. What would you guys change about your decks?
I need more. I would probably not change much. I probably need a counter answer in the deck because that's just like something nice overall. Something like pulling out one of my one drops or some package of one drops possibly, and putting in something like Gorgon. I think dropping a Gorgon on turn 3, because I think I don't have to race to level up in this matchup. I was thinking about that as we went through. So if you think about some strategic things, so Killmonger, for instance, won't take my IG power away if I'm still at level 1 when he comes down. So in the old days, the Thanos matchups, and I think I had a little bit too much of like the mirrors stuck in my head on how you play the deck, where it was about leveling quick, leveling first, and getting your gauntlet off. This matchup, I can be a little bit more methodical and put guys up front, let him do that, suicide my Thanos in, let him drop the Killmonger on 4, see if he's got it on 4, and then I can still level up and I got my gauntlet there, So, and then you can actually choose something else with the gauntlet. And I think I could have been a little bit more methodical with my play, and I think that in the future I would probably bring something in like Organ or something on 3, so I don't have to be quite as low to the ground because the games are not as fast as you think they're going to be.
I think a few of us were surprised to see Game 7, turn 7.
Yeah, I mean, he does have 6 wounds. I definitely would want Sokovia Accords to be a 4 of. That card was absolutely clutch. I don't think Whiplash or Maria Hill are as important as I thought they were going in. So delete Whiplash on 1 and run Ant-Man instead because he can chip away at Thanos. Go up to 4 on Sokovia Accords. Maybe drop a Maria Hill to have a full 4 laboratories, something like that.
How did you feel about Scully? We only saw you use her in once in Game 3.
Desperate in Game 2 to get her. So I had her after he gauntleted in Game 2. Ellie 2 turns in a row, and I skipped playing resource 1 turn because I was desperate to be able to play her. And then that was the turn where I feel like I had room to play her. Like I had to do other things. And a turn where he was able to stun, get second wounds on all my Outriders. So the one game where I really desperately felt like I needed her, my Outriders got put out of reach of her powers. She was mildly relevant in Game 3, but at that point, I feel like it was a win more card.
But still, activating I Need Your Help to go get like a Sokovia Accords or something like that would be too clutch to like bring out. I think that her ability to grind out another turn of the game by adding a wound or something has to be worth the include. Plus the 3/5 body's good.
Yeah. Well, in a team attack with a giant gunman is just good. Like one of the favorite lines I came across in playtesting this with my son was turn 2, Heimdall, pay a blue, bring out Pro Hickey, and just dump a bunch of Langleys out of my hand. Like, that was great.
I think I will say this. I think yet again, this matchup here illustrated exactly how powerful that gunman package is, man, and how it's something else.
Crazy.
Like if we think back to Robbie Robbie playing the finals for Quarantine Cup, he had a couple of heavy gunman hands that just were brutal, And then I like to see the numbers at like Vegas, how many people ran the gunman and stuff. It was crazy.
So my Game 3 opening hand was 3 Langleys, I Need Your Help, Fires, and a location.
Snap key.
And I don't remember. Well, it was after my mulligan, so yeah. But then I had to wait till 3 to go off because I wanted to play the buyers to be able to use all the Langleys, so I couldn't pop off on.
Hey guys, I had to wait to turn 3 to dump 3 Langleys in a row. So cry me a freaking river, brother.
It was still before.
So let's talk
looking
about
over your initial hands over the first. I want to say over all 3 games, it looked like, Ben, your most optimal hand, a hand that we thought couldn't get any better, was Game 1. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Game 3 was really strong, but Heimdall I actually had 2 Heimdalls in game 1, so had he
had I swung
Adam,
in, you could have powered up.
Yeah.
That would have been a blowout.
Well,
That would have been beautiful.
or I would have played another one. I'm not sure how that would have played out, but either way, I would have had access to that search later in the game too.
I think right there you power up, bounce the attack, and then when you come back, you already had the blue down, and then you can go get your 2-drop Langley and start dumping to him or something. Oh yeah, that would have been brutal.
So looking to the future, guys. We've now done a Thanos versus Outrider, and we've sort of looked at the old guard, unbeatable deck. But one thing that we have a lot of people talking about, or we've talked about a lot that we've never actually seen, is to grab just the anti-OR package, right? And throw in, say, like a bad MC, throw Angel in that and see how it does. So what do you guys think? We were talking about this, Joe and I, about running another fight night where you literally just make the anti-Outrider SC package, running Leviathan, running Christie, and throwing a terrible MC on there and seeing how
Like
that
Kid
does.
Kaiju.
Kid Kaiju, Angel, Daredevil, somebody.
The Thanos that I tested against, well, actually, I was running because my boy wanted to play Outriders, but the Thanos I used to prepare for this had all the Comet Fall guys, Christie, Metal and Fire, the Mystique Bomb, all that stuff, and it was still, like, the games were close, but the Outriders won the majority of them. So even using all of those tools, now I didn't do some of the stuff like Carlos, you and I talked about, like using Death Traps and Soup Happens. Like those are excellent cards that I didn't put in. Poncho would be good.
See, and I think the other point of that is you know, you did very well formatting, it looked like, in these games with keeping some Outriders in the back and keeping yourself very safe. And using that Prey package gives you access to Poncho, who for a red is going to blow up your back row. So you really can't push Outriders in the back and keep them safe that way.
Well, and Green Goblin is on team for Thanos and lets you pick which row. So having to keep the Outriders split between the 2 rows was actually part of the formation play lines that I was thinking about going into this the whole time.
Yeah,
well,
we were talking about it the whole way.
Some of that stuff out of them didn't run, but
yeah, so that would have been good sometimes. But then again, you know, it's whatever. Flying guys would have been good in this matchup too if I could get more flyers. I think I think I went in for IG a little bit too hard. I think I should have played combat a little bit more. But it's whatever. I thought I was trying to give it a good run, show everybody how to. This is like an old school version with some updated cards. Was kind of what I was going for with my build.
Death might be a really good MC for anti-Outrider just because she has so many hit points.
I don't know.
All right.
Well,
All right,
guys.
This is really cool.
Well, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being the first players on our Fight Night series. Our next Fight Night will release as well. We talked about that on the stream tonight. It sounds like we got Vern from Team Apex with Royce versus Peter from Team. What is it? Team what? What was it? Oh, Team Attack. That's right. Team Attack. Yeah. Peter from Team Attack is going to go up against him with Mr. Black. So I think that'll be our next fight night, and more to come on that as well. But thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight for the stream, and Mr. Ben, Adam, thank you both so much. It was fun to see. It was cool to see an IG go off. It's the first one I've seen in years. So
I know.
Thanks, gentlemen.
No problem, man.
All right. Good times, fellas.
Guys,
Until
thank
next
you.
time, go win some games.